And it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It says it's almost streaming. I don't know what that means. So some people will be watching a stream right now, and other people will be like, starting now. There you go. Now it's officially streaming to everybody. Okay, and we're in.
All right, hi
Hitting the
everybody.
play.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
That's this guy. I'm not sure the audio quality was right on that intro. It sounded tinny to me. I'm not sure if it's my headphones or
It might be the headphones. It sounded okay to me.
okay.
So
Tell us in the chat. Hey chat,
yeah,
tell
did,
us
did you
tell
did, did
us
you hear the intro as good as it usually sounds, or was it
yeah.
weird and tinny today? I guess we'll see.
Did that's something totally unrelated but sort of related. I saw a post about I'm a big linguistics guy. I like languages, and
Okay.
they pointed out that they said chat might be the first ever fourth person pronoun,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
actually.
Because you have I as the first person, you as the second person, him as the third person,
Yes.
and then chat is a fourth person observing the whole situation.
Quantum physics enters the quantum chat.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
quantum language. Now
Now
we have
all
an
of our
observer.
waveforms are going to collapse because someone is observing our state.
Yeah, there you go. Who
A little
knew?
quantum humor for everybody to get started. Linguistics and quantum
But
mechanics. What
there
a
you go.
first 2 minutes of our show today.
Are you sure you're an idiot? You don't sound qualified to be an idiot no more. So
I'm getting worse at being an idiot every day.
excellent. That's always a good
Right?
thing.
Very good.
There you go.
I sorry, I'm super dispersed right now. I'm like just had this conversation with this lady who wanted to tell me how to run my business, and I was like,
Huh,
"Excuse
it's all
me."
good. I'm
Yeah.
hiding in my basement and it's friggin' hot, so I'm wearing a tank top for once. And the
Oh, yeah.
problem is that I run around outside with short sleeves, so I got this terrible farmer's tan, right? Like it's
Oh,
like I'm one color here and one color here. So I'm like, oh God, maybe I should go outside in this thing.
oh
So
yeah. I used to do
then
window
just
cleaning, and it was brutal.
balance the universe. So
Yeah. How are you doing, Earl? Anybody telling you how to run your business?
ah,
Yeah.
people keep trying to make me break my systems, and I keep telling them no. And the funny thing is, every time I break my system, everything goes to shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, but I'll just make this one excuse and well, yeah, just this one time, and every time it blows up. So I'm holding fast. Someone's like,
Which
hey,
system is that?
can you make an exception for me? I have a really simple one for calendar bookings. If you want to book me, here's a calendar link. You pick a spot, and I'll show up. Right? Oh yeah, can you
Mm.
just can does this time work? I don't know. If you check on this calendar, it's going to be there. I'm like, yeah, but can you just check? I'm like, well, yeah, it's the same thing. If I check, I'm looking at the same thing you are. So all you need to do is pick the slot and I will be there. And they're like, yeah, but are you available at this time on this date? I don't know. And round and around we go. And I'm like, I don't think I want to work with this one. And so, yeah. And they're like, hey, can you bump this spot on Friday or whatever? I'm like, okay. The problem is that there's someone in that spot. And how would you like it if I bumped you for somebody else? Like then they complain like, hey, but the next you're not available for like 2 weeks. I'm like, that makes me a good marketer, doesn't it? If
Yeah.
if I didn't if I wasn't busy for 2 weeks, do you really want to hire me? And they're like,
Yeah, that
well,
means
yeah,
that
but we need you now. I'm like, well, that's not my problem.
should
So
have
here
called me sooner.
and then around and around it goes. I'm like, yo, this is how it works. You want to get in line, get in line. You don't want to get in line, get out. So which
And
is
I'm just gonna
the
switch my
nice.
headphones because I'm getting bad sound quality here, and I'm not sure if
Okay.
it's you or my headphones. So hold on a second.
Maybe it's the internet. Maybe Microsoft died again. Who knows? So I guess we'll see. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me now? Dan switching stuff.
You might-
I wonder if he can hear me while he switches stuff.
I got you. Can you hear me now?
There you go. Loud and clear.
Okay. Okay, and the sound quality is great. I guess it was my headphones. Never
No,
mind.
there you go. Maybe your headphones were dying. Who knows?
Hopefully, I don't
So
like
there you
them.
go.
Right. You having a good week? get
Yeah,
business done?
yes. Yesterday was the boat day, so that was fun.
Oh
Like
yeah.
200 people showed up, and
Wow.
it was a zoo, it was again a gas as usual. So lots of people there, lots of people who want to talk, and so it's funny though. People don't understand the function of a networking event. The function of a networking event is to spend 5 minutes with somebody, find out if you do want to have a coffee with them later, shake hands, trade cards, and go book a coffee. There's people trying to have like a full blown conversation there for like the hour that we're there. I'm like, yo, man, you gotta go shake hands, meet people. That's the whole point, right? Go have coffee afterwards, and then if you like them, go talk to them, right? But don't sit there and have like a 45-minute conversation because this is where you meet people, right? And then you go talk to them deeper after the fact, but you find out this is your taste test. It's like an appetizer, right? Like, let's find out, do I like this person? Do I want to have coffee with this guy or not? And kind of go from there. So yeah, for those of you who are doing networking events, like meet people, shake hands, speak for 5 to 15 minutes, but don't monopolize their entire event and keep them trapped there like a stage 5 clinger. So don't do that. That's bad. So
Speed dating. It's speed dating.
it's speed dating. Yeah, yeah. Find out if you want the second date or not. So
Nice. Any Earl and the Idiot fans at the boat yesterday?
yeah, a couple people who listen to the show. So yeah, there you go. We're getting like 200-300 views on either Facebook or on LinkedIn these days. So there's a
Nice.
couple of people who actually look forward to our stuff.
Hi,
So there you
people.
go. Hi, people. So the bet is still on. I still have a fresh $50 bill towards whoever the hell introduces the, hey, wait, you're the idiot. And so, but you've been in hiding the last two boat events, so
That's true. Yeah,
we gotta get you
I
to
gotta
come
give
out again
people
one
a
of these
chance.
days.
I went
Yeah.
out to a networking event in New West here, and I met Jordan Kofsky.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he was familiar with the show, but he didn't start with, "Oh, you're the idiot." I had to tell him I'm the idiot. He's like, "Oh,
So
you're the guy." Okay.
no $50 for you then. So sorry, that's not how it works. Yeah, you have to start the
Well,
conversation with, hey, wait, are you? Yeah, and then
yeah. That's what I want to hear. Hey, you're that idiot. I want them to say it
yeah,
really loudly in front of a lot of other people.
there you go. There you go.
But just saying, you don't have to do that part. That's what I want. Just
Yeah.
saying, just identifying me as the idiot will get you
If you can
fifty
recognize Dan as the
dollars.
idiot, $50 at Starbucks, and it's all yours.
So I can recognize myself. And I'll just take it. He
There
gets on it. I've lost my
you
link
go.
for the show.
So
Hey,
speaking of weird stuff, I don't know if you saw it. I just posted to you on your WhatsApp that there's a robot that makes coffee on Hastings.
yeah, I
So
saw that. When did that happen?
no, actually, it's been a little while, but I wanted to just test it out again. I had it maybe like a month ago, and then
Mhm.
I came back just to the cafe just to try it out and have my robot make me coffee again. And it's not bad. It's not spectacular coffee. Like it's not like the highest level of coffees in the universe, but it's also it's better than Starbucks, which is it's kind of a low bar. But yeah, there you go. So it's better than Starbucks, but not the best I've ever had. So, but still, it tastes better because robot made it.
Yeah.
So AI, thank you.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's going to make our coffee. It's going to do everything for us. I don't know why I'm currently obsessed with the fact that the lighting, I got bright light outside and then my room is darker. Yeah, it's like, it makes my nose look crooked. See that? Does my
Yeah, it
nose look
does
off
actually.
center?
Yeah, it does. That's weird.
All right, there you go. All right.
Yeah. It actually fixes it when you stick your hands there. So it's weird.
Right?
Well, you can put your hand there the whole show if you want, but whatever. So,
Yeah.
or I will give you another light. I have a bunch of lights kicking around here that I don't use anymore. So,
No, we're good. I don't know. I should have my overhead light on. Anyway, I'm sure this is really interesting to the 100 or 200 people who are watching. Hi, guys.
sorry, we got into it again. Anyway, there we
Tell us in
go.
the chat if my nose looks straight or
Yeah,
not.
there's the thing.
All right. So you see my background today? It's
I
a
do.
guy who's swamped with appointments and
Nice.
papers
I
are
like
falling
it.
around on his desk. Look at him. He's like, no.
His schedule is so full.
Yes. So we're discussing how to run your calendar, how to prioritize your events and activities. So this is something people asked you about this week.
Yeah, a ton of people started asking me how to prioritize, what to do in what order, when to do stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, let's chat about that. So I answered that question at least twice, no, three
Mhm.
times. Holy cow, this week. So a lot of people are trying to figure out what the hell to do in what order. So I'm like, all right, y'all, here's a couple models. So
I recently just cracked a little bit of this. I need more help on this because my calendar is a mess.
hmm,
Um, but I recently cracked this a little bit with what I was doing my to-do list with anytime the problem is I start doing something and I realize, oh yeah, this thing. And I go do that thing and I go, oh yeah, this thing, and I go to that thing.
Hmm.
And so I figured out that as soon as I think, oh yeah, that other task, I just write it in my to-do list. But then it's like I set it as being due today or whatever. And then whatever I
Ah,
don't get done is still there on the list the next day. I finally figured out what to do, which is I'm not gonna get this today. I'm busy today. I'm gonna do this on Thursday. And I throw it ahead into Thursday. And
mm,
then I don't have to think about it again between now and Thursday.
that's a good plan. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. There you go. So yeah, try not to do things that are,
Actually, you
under
know what?
duress
Tomorrow's
all
busy.
the time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, because it was like everything was in present time, just pushing down on me. Now it's like
Yeah.
this thing's not that important. I could do it in 2 days, no big deal. Get off
Yeah,
my plate and
exactly.
address the stuff that's more urgent. So that's my little genius tip. Me failing
No,
to be an
that
idiot once
works.
again.
Stop just, stress stacking everything on yourself on the same day because you'll freak out and then you'll just not get it all done and then you'll feel bad about it. So
Stress stacking.
there's no benefit to that, right? It just stresses you out more, right? So there you go.
Exactly. Okay, so we want to find out for the good folks out there, compliments of AI overlords.
Mhm.
What How do we manage our tasks? So you asked ChatGPT, a good friend ChatGPT, acting as a business consulting expert. What are 3 ways to optimize my calendar and organize my daily tasks? What are 2 things to avoid when trying to streamline tasks? And what's one red hot tip to really ramp up productivity in the realm of organizing a calendar, task management? Excuse me.
There you
Let's
go.
dive right into it, shall we? Here we go. 20
Absolutely.
minutes later.
20 minutes
Always 20
later.
minutes. 20 minutes later, we dive right into it. One, prioritize and batch similar tasks. This is weird. It's divided up into action and implementation. It's interesting. Action.
Hmm.
Group similar tasks together and schedule them in dedicated blocks of time. This minimizes context switching. Ooh, I like that. Which can be time consuming and mentally exhausting. Implementation. Use a method like the Pomodoro technique to focus on one task or a set of similar tasks for a set period, followed by a short break. This helps maintain high levels of concentration and productivity.
Okay, so let's break this down. The first
Mm,
part where it says group similar tasks together
yeah,
and then dedicated blocks of time. And so that whole context switching thing is a thing. And I
yeah.
did not know this earlier on. And I wish someone told me this earlier on because I think I irreparably broke my brain in this case. So
Mm,
you can actually context switch yourself into a lower level IQ. And I think I'm dumber now than I used to be because I did too much context switching because I thought I was hot stuff and I could, quote unquote, multitask. And
mm,
it's not. You're monotasking, you're just switching the tasks very, very quickly. And unfortunately, your brain has a finite number of there's actually a liquid in your brain that helps you context switch. And if you context switch too often, it runs out. And then that's why that weird wall at 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock hits and you just need a nap. Your brain's like, nope, I'm done. And it checks out. And so that means you ran out of that liquid. And the only way to bring that liquid back is to get a full like 6, 7, 8 hours sleep at night.
yeah.
Otherwise, they don't come back. So if you burn the candle at both ends, sleep for 2 hours, get back up and try again, you're not doing yourself any favors. So if you rapidly context switch, I forget what the chemical compound is. I wrote an article about it many, many moons ago on LinkedIn because I was
Mm,
just so curious. How come if I do a bunch of stuff in one day, my brain just goes and then I'm done and I don't want to think anymore. And it turns out there's a real thing. And so um the next part is it talks about the Pomodoro technique. And the Pomodoro technique, for those of you who don't know what it is it's the word Pomodoro is like tomato or whatever,
yeah.
it's a tomato. And then so the guy who invented this had a little timer, and the timer was the shape of a tomato, and that's why it's called the Pomodoro technique. And everyone's like, "What the hell's it called? What the hell does it have to do with tomatoes?" Nothing. It was just
Mm,
the timer that he had was red
mhm.
and cute and looked like a tomato. And so you just focus on one task at a time for a certain amount of time. And like so, I have this little cube thingy where I just
Oh
pick a
yeah.
time and I flip it to that time, and then whatever that time is, that's how long I get before it starts making the most annoying alarm sound you've ever heard in your life.
Mhm.
And so this works. I have a good old hourglass that also
Oh yeah.
works, and it's just kind of old school and more structured. I like this one because you can't like reset it, start over again. Like the
Hmm.
sands of glass, the sands of the hourglass are falling. You can't undo them. So it's like, oh crap, you got to get it done. And so that Pomodoro technique is for the timer or whatever time set you agree to. You just do that one thing and turf all other distractions. Turn off your phone, turn off your email, turn off your Facebook, turn off all your annoying little pop-ups everywhere. Put yourself on essentially airplane mode and
Yeah.
get your stuff done for whatever that time frame is. And so and I agree, just so I'm explaining that what the thing is talking about, but I agree with both of those pieces, prioritize and batch similar tasks, because if you do that, then your life is better. So and your brain doesn't hurt so bad. So there you
Yeah.
go.
You know what? I'm going to think with this now because I context switch badly. I've got so many clients, and each one is a totally different task,
Hmm.
and I'm getting calls and emails the whole. It's like if I get into a task like designing someone's website, and I sort of
Mm.
focus on it for I get right into it and I'm just going at it for several hours. That feels therapeutic,
Yeah.
right? But when you're handling this, handling that, handling that, handling that, by the end of the day, you're totally burnt out.
Hmm.
So that's really interesting.
So what
That
I do is
it's
I assign flows, right?
hmm,
Because you have no idea how long your brain's going to be in flow state. You have no idea, and it depends on the day, depends on your mood, depends on the energy, depends if it's sunny outside. There's a lot of weird things that make you either more or less productive. And so what I do is I just try to get into flow state, and I try to stay in there as long as humanly possible, but I don't force it. If at any given point in time I fall out of flow, okay, screw it, let's go do something else, right? So I take a short break, step off, come back, do it again, and I do something else. So if I need to get this done and I'm trying to force flow state, I'll try it again one more time. But if it doesn't click, it doesn't click. And I just
hmm.
as crazy as it sounds, I just use my ADHD as a weapon, and I just follow the dopamine. And it's like, okay, well, I got all this stuff done. Which one in my ADHD meter makes me happier? This one, great. And then you just because ADHD is like a weird thing, right? Either you can't focus on nothing, or you focus on this one thing hyper fixated, like a maniac. And so I'll just let the dowsing rod just go, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I guess we're doing this today, and then poof,
I've
it
de-
gets
I've definitely
done.
I've definitely done that. I'm like, oh, this thing for whatever reason is interesting me quite a lot. I know there's other things I'm ignoring right now, but just gonna ride this wave.
Well, because then you get it done, and you get it done to a good degree. It's just prioritizing the ones that you pick, right? So you got to just Marie Kondo your calendar, and does it bring you joy? And if it
Yeah,
doesn't, then to the bottom of the list you go. So as
yeah.
long as it's not like
I
impertinent on fire, and someone's gonna get fired if this doesn't get done. So there you go.
I also like I actually looked into the Pomodoro technique. I used it for a little bit. I should probably get back to it. But there was a great
Mm,
line in there where like it says, okay, so you're going to work hard on one specific thing for 20 minutes, and it says the world will get along without you okay for 20 minutes.
yes.
And I like that. It was like, oh, it was liberating. Because yeah, I don't know how they had my number so good on that, but it's like, yeah, you sort of feel like someone needs your attention or you need to be paying attention to something right now. But it's like, no, you can step out. You can step off
Yeah.
the world for 20 minutes and focus on something. I actually say
Hmm.
goodbye to my girlfriend now when I'm going to go do one. I'm going to go do a Pomodoro, honey. Bye.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. So I'll see you in
heading
20
out.
minutes. Well,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
yeah, at that point, I basically have a sign that says "Don't bother me" stuck to my forehead, and unless you are bleeding from the head, leave me alone, right? So it's just like, are you bleeding? Yes. If it's from the head, no. Then you can wait 20 minutes.
Right.
There you go.
I once worked at a place. I had some people working under me who were had to focus on mentally intense tasks for a while, and actually got them
Mhm.
do not disturb signs to hang on their backs.
Nice. I like it. There you go.
All
At
right.
least, at least yours was polite. Mine said "Go away." So,
Yeah. No, it was being nice. Okay. Number two, set clear, achievable goals with deadlines. Oh, it's the deadlines that get me. Action, break down large projects into smaller, manageable tasks, each with a clear deadline. Implementation, use a task management tool or simply a to-do list to outline daily, weekly, and monthly goals. Review and adjust these goals regularly to ensure they align with your overall objectives.
as simple as that sounds, that's super hard to do.
Yeah.
As simple as that sounds, that's super hard to do. So you've got your quarterly, so you got your annual, your quarterly, your monthly, your weekly goals, and then assessing your task list to make sure that you're actually rowing the boat in the right direction is incredibly freaking hard because people get, inundated off the rails, da 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 da. And there's a difference between being busy and being efficient. And it's a very
Mhm.
vast gap in between. Like there's some people who are always busy and they never get anything done and they're still poor and they don't make any money. I'm like, well, dude, if you just focused on this thing and made this one thing go, you'd be rich by now, right? And so the other thing is breaking down large projects into smaller, manageable pieces. People have a really hard time doing that. Like humans have a
Mhm.
really bad sense of time and time management. In a short amount of time, they think they can get like a million things done. I'm like, there's no way in hell, right? But in a long form time, they completely underestimate what they could get done in like a long form time. So they're completely ass backwards on both regards. Over a
Mhm.
series of years, they're like, there's no way I could pull that off. But you totally can. And it's like, oh yeah, we got a weekend to do this. Oh, I could pull that off, no problem. No, that's a month's worth of work. There's no way in hell. And so people just underestimate both of those things, and then they're just crap at breaking down a large project into smaller manageable tasks. So those skill sets, if you have them, are absolutely golden. So
Mhm.
100% agree, but you need to be able to be objective with both of these things. Because if you
Mhm.
cannot be objective against yourself and you let your feelings and your mind, get in the way of things, you'll never get everything done, and nothing will be in the right order, and nothing will be prioritized. If it's like everything's important, oh my God, my hair's on fire. No, it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah,
So
I get a little ambitious. I'll be like, I'm going to accomplish these four things today, and then tomorrow these other four things, and then today I only got two of them done, so now I got six for tomorrow. I'm definitely not getting done, and it's like the whole structure falls apart almost immediately.
but it's set to fail because it's a cascading failure. And because you get that fail, your mind checks it off as a fail, and then you identify as fail, and then you fail more, right? Because that's what I am, I'm a failure. And so don't do that,
Listen, Earl,
right?
I'm
Like
gonna need you to stop calling me out like that.
I do the same thing, and then I cry on my couch.
Good.
Anyway, so I literally have a couch just over there for fetal position when I do this. So it's just like, nope, I want to sit in fetal position for a little while, and
That's good
it's
to
gonna
know.
have a bad. I'm gonna have a bad day.
That that's a comfort to me. I
So
just would prefer you didn't accurately identify my failings that effectively.
there you go. But it's in that being objective with yourself, which is really frigging hard because
Mhm.
we're not robots, we're humans, right? So if I could just make the AI do it, that'd be great. Apparently, there's an AI that does it for you that helps. So yeah. So I'm actually gonna explore that later. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give it a shot.
let me know. I was wondering about that. Yeah, there's always like, oh, AI will break down your day for you. I'm like, will it? How does it know? But yeah, it's pretty smart these days.
Yeah. Well, I've done it all manually before. It's a pain in the butt. It works, but it's a royal pain in the ass. And you
Yeah,
do it, and the problem is it only lasts like 6 months before you fall into disarray again, right?
well, yeah, yeah, for me, I would put organize my day planner effectively, and then I wouldn't get that done.
Right. But people don't. Yeah, here's the kicker. People don't allocate enough time to schedule your schedule.
Right.
People don't allocate enough time to schedule your schedule. And so in that book, what was it, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? They told that story. There's the woodcutter who cuts down trees and stuff, and on the first day he cuts down 11 trees, the next day he cuts down 10 trees, the next day he cuts down 8 trees, and the boss is like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm working twice as hard, but I'm cutting down less trees." And then the boss asks the stupid question, "How many hours a day do you sharpen your axe?" And the guy goes, "I don't got time to sharpen my axe. Gotta cut down trees." The boss is like, "Okay, just you know what? Just spend an hour early in the day sharpening your axe, and then work the same amount of time. Don't add any extra time or whatever." And he's like, "Holy shit, I cut down more trees." I'm like, "Well, see." So don't neglect the time to schedule your schedule, which I know sounds weird. Like, isn't this a little superfluous? Or like, I'm spending schedule time to schedule my schedule. What the hell?
all,
You
all I
need
heard is that
it.
you just called me dull. All
There you
right,
go.
let's move ahead here. Three,
All right.
use time blocks. It's kind of more Pomodoro stuff. Use time blocks for deep work and routine activities. Action, allocate specific times in your calendar for deep, focused work and routine administrative tasks. Kind of what we were just talking about. Implementation, protect these time blocks from interruptions by setting up boundaries, such as not answering non-urgent emails or calls during these periods. This helps maintain a flow state and ensures important tasks are completed efficiently.
So there's this really good book. I joined a book club. There's something new. I joined a book club of all things. I was randomly asked to attend it. I'm like, okay, when is it? Oh, yeah, 2 weeks from now. And you got to read this book. I'm like, oh crap. So I read the book, and the book is called The War of Art. The War of Art, which was a fantastic little ditty. And in it was in chapter like it was separated into three books inside the books. And so it talked about resistance, the path to defeating resistance. And in that second book, it talked about the difference between when you were an amateur and when you were a professional, and the amateur versus the pro. And whereas this thing is saying use time blocks for deep work and routine activities, in the book, there was this beautiful quote. It says, I'm always able to write when inspiration strikes me. Thankfully, I'm a professional and I schedule this, and inspiration strikes me every day at 9 a.m. Right? And so because he spent the time doing it over and over again, his brain got accustomed to it, and the writing got more and more efficient over time. In the beginning, you're sitting there at the blank page going, what the hell do I do now? And as you do it over and over again, it's like cutting through the bushes with a machete, right? Like the first time you cut through the jungle, it's like hell because everything's all overgrown and tough. But as you keep cutting through and cutting through and cutting through, you actually start to build a path. And the more often you use that path, the easier it is to walk that path. The same is for your brain, right? So using time blocks for deep work and routine, and that keyword is routine. When your mind knows it's 9 o'clock, time to write, and you do this religiously over and over again, whether you want to write or not, all of a sudden inspiration starts striking during writing time, which is this happenstance, right? But it's because you trained your brain to say, okay, at this time, it's like on Wednesdays we wear pink, right? So from Mean Girls, um, same thing. Like at 9 o'clock, we write, and if that's when you do your writing, right? Then you keep that protected. And so, where does this protect these time blocks or interruptions? Absolutely. Funny enough, actually, usually I don't wear earphones, but today I was in one of my time blocks where I was focusing, and I only wear these earphones during time block focus time, and I didn't feel like taking them off for our show. So here we are. I'm wearing earphones today, but these are my deep time block routine time earphones. So when I put these things on, I'm in focus mode, right? It's pretty cool. So I specifically have a set of earphones for focus time. I know that's weird, right? So when I'm running around outside, I have a different set of
You you
earphones.
you put them on and your body goes, "Oh, I know this feeling. This must be focus time."
Yeah, I'm supposed to be thinking now. So here, think deep thoughts and sound smart, okay? Okay. And so so there you go.
That's
Hopefully I
interesting.
sound smarter than usual today because I have the thinking headphones on, not the regular headphones.
Brilliant. Show's going great. That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to try that one. Let
Hmm.
us move on here to find out what to
Alrighty.
avoid.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot of it. Number one, avoid multitasking, just like you said at the start. Reasons: multitasking often leads to reduced efficiency and quality of work, and also increased stress and burnout. Focus on
Yeah.
one task. Advice: focus on one task at a time. Use techniques like time blocking to manage multiple responsibilities without switching between tasks constantly, because we kind of covered that.
Yeah, but sometimes you need the backswing, right? Which sounds I know it sounds weird, right? So when I learn things in martial arts, this just gives you a completely different perspective on things. I am
Mhm.
the worst. I am the worst, slowest martial arts learner, right? Like I need to get hit by the technique for me to understand it, right? Which is terrible for me, especially. So because I then have to get hit by said technique.
But fun for
Um,
your opponent.
Oh, fun for the opponent. Absolutely. They love it.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, we have to drill this 300 times. Oh, so wait, I have to hit you 300 times? Yes, please.
do
And they're like, are you
do
sure?
me a favor.
Yeah. And that's what it takes. But once I get it, I get a better understanding of stuff, but I'm a slow ass learner. So a trick that one of my teachers taught me was if you learn the stupid movement forwards, backwards, fast, slow, right? And sometimes upside down, your brain gets it quicker because like it's like you're like drawing a map, right? And so if you do it upside down, backwards, forward, slow, fast, da 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 da, all these weird reps doing the same thing over and over again, you need less reps to get it into your brain. So I found that if I train slow, if I train fast, if I train backwards, as if I switch hands, I end up learning this stuff faster because my brain is forced to see it from different points of view and different angles, right? And so I know we just said it earlier, but saying to monotask and saying to avoid multitasking is the same thing, but it's coming from a different angle. And for some people, saying do this or don't do this will resonate deeper, faster, better. And for other people, when you say it with both pieces, yeah, they get annoyed because it's review. But because you're reviewing it, your brain goes, "Hey, I remember this one. I feel good about it. Hey, I think we can do this." Right. And then it reinforces the ability and belief that you think you can do it. And sometimes just that ability and belief that you can makes all the difference in the world.
Good.
There you go.
What can I got nothing to add to that, which
Well,
is really
if
good.
if you want to spin more, I mean, I can play a really short story. There
Mhm.
was a guy on stage. I forget who it was. It was like Les Brown or someone like a Tony Robbins convention, and he gave some ridiculous offer saying, okay, whoever thinks that they can win this, put your hand up, blah blah blah. We're gonna have a competition. Who can do whoever do this thing? And I don't remember what the exercise was. I just remember him at the end saying, okay, there's only so many of you who actually even participated. Why is that? And then he asked the question, for those of you who did participate, did you actually believe that you could win? And for those who did put their hands up, they believed that they could win. For those who didn't even bother putting their hands up, they're like, man, there's 1,000 people here. The chances I'm going to win are astronomically slow. Why even bother? And then he said something that stuck with me through the years. And it was, you think you have this much competition looking around the room, but in fact, only the people who tried, who put their hands up, were your competition. And that number
Mm.
is vastly different than what you think it is. And so in a room of 1,000, maybe like 40 people, 50 people put their hand up, man. And so you're not fighting 1,000. You're only fighting another 49 people, which compared to 1,000, you have good chances, right? And those people believed that they could do it. And that simple belief that they could do it made all the difference in the world. So isn't that quote, only the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world,
Yeah.
right? So there you go.
Hmm. I like that.
See, thinking
Okay.
headphones. Maybe I should wear these fucking things more often.
Yeah, there you go. Not the swearing headphones, though. Don't wear your swearing
Oh,
headphones.
sorry, my bad.
We never actually have established our policy on foul
No,
language
we
on this
didn't. But
show.
we have sworn a couple times. But it is what it
Yeah.
is.
I usually try to prepare people, at least sort of warn them it's coming.
Oh, right, my bad. Sorry. It is
Hmm.
the evil marketing genius, not the saintly marketing genius.
Yeah.
So there you
Also, I
go.
don't think there's a ton of kids listening. I don't know. Maybe someone's got it on in the
No,
minivan while they're driving their kids around. It's summertime,
well,
so who
I
knows?
don't see a lot of people. I don't see a lot of people and their kids on LinkedIn. So it is what it is.
Sweet.
So
All right. Here's the second thing to avoid. Avoid overloading your schedule. Reason, cramming too many tasks in your day can lead to overwhelm, decreased productivity, and lower quality of work. Advice, be realistic about the time each task requires and build buffer time into your schedule for unexpected delays or urgent matters. Hell to the yes.
oh,
Amen.
absolutely. Yes.
Praise AI.
Something will always explode.
Yeah.
Nothing will work at 100% exactly the way you thought it would. So when you build your schedule to the nth degree, minute by minute by minute, it is destined to fail, right? Because maybe your fridge explodes or stops working, and then you have to move all the food to the other fridge. That legit happened once. Um,
Mhm.
and my fridge is actually making weird sounds now, so it might be happening again. So crap. And so, if you overload your schedule and you have every single last minute of your day planned out, it will not work because you can only honestly to goodness book yourself at about a 60 to 75% rate. And if you
Hmm.
manage a 75% completion schedule in your day, you are a productivity saint guru among gurus. And that's just the way it is, right? It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you might actually be doing what you're supposed to be doing, if maybe, and that's if you're perfect. And 20% of the time you're sitting there, scratching things. You gotta go to the bathroom. You gotta, someone rang the doorbell. The dog is barking. Something's going on. Something's going crazy, and that's just called life, right? So
Someone gave you a
100%.
lightsaber to play with?
Oh my God. You know how long that sucked out on my day when I got the stupid lightsaber? So I got the lightsaber, like, screw everything else. I don't care. Book all my schedule. I actually I canceled all my other meetings. I'm going to my backyard. Screw you guys. I'll see you later. And all I was doing in the backyard, hold on. And so so yeah, absolutely. So some days you like squirrel really hard and then you end up on YouTube for 4 hours and you look up and you go, oh shit, what did I do all day? Oh, sorry, I swore again. Bad evil
Oh
marketing.
man,
Anyway,
Earl, there are your
so
swearing headphones.
there you go. Yeah, they are swearing headphones. Anyway, so yeah, overloading your schedule is bad. Don't cram too much stuff because you'll break. Um, and even if you do get a bunch of it done, if you overdo it and then you're always pushing stuff to the next day and always pushing stuff to the next day, you're training your mind to accept that you're never able to complete a day. And if you train your mind that you're never able to complete a day, you feel like a failure, right? So it doesn't matter if you did 30 things, but you missed the 31st through 33rd things, like, and that's a superhuman task. That's impossible. You can't. So there you go. Agree 100% and then some, and bonus sprinkles on top and
All right.
sweary headphones.
That's probably what I gotta work out. I gotta try and clear a few things off here.
Mm.
All right. So here's one red hot tip to ramp up productivity. Use the 2-minute rule for quick tasks. Action. If a task can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. Benefit. This approach helps clear small tasks from your to-do list quickly, preventing them from piling up and becoming overwhelming. It also keeps your workflow smooth and uncluttered, allowing you to focus on more significant, high-priority tasks.
I agree and disagree. So this is the first time I'm disagreeing with the AI on this one. So I agree for the most part, but the 2-minute rule for quick tasks, the problem is that if you're super proficient at things, you can get stuff done in 2 minutes that takes other people 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, right? Because you're quick at certain things. Everyone's got a superpower that they're really damn good at. And if it's your 2 minutes that you can get done in 2 minutes, um, the problem is that if you keep doing that, you become a slave to those 2 minutes, and those 2 minutes keep adding up over time, over time, over time. So you have to look at your schedule and figure out what you actually should be doing versus what you shouldn't be doing, right? As a business owner, you should only be doing things that are worth $200 an hour or higher. Because if you're doing stuff that's less than $200 an hour, you could be hiring out, outsourcing, turning an AI to do it. There's a lot more efficient ways you can do those types of things. And yeah, so yes and no, right? If you're in a crunch, yeah, do the 2-minute thing, but you got to question the thing that you're doing in 2 minutes, whether it's pertinent to your company's survival or not. Because, your 2 minutes as a company owner, remember, as your company grows, you're responsible for more and more and more people's livelihoods. And that 2 minutes could have been better spent making a decision that affects everybody else's livelihood versus, answering some vendor email that any one of your staff could have easily answered. What time are you open on Thursday? Are you answering that question as a business owner? Stop it. Make your VA, make your AI, make anything else, make your website, make your videos answer this crap, not you, right? So it's a 2-minute question and answer, but those 2 minutes add up. So there you go. So yes, I agree, but no, I don't agree. You got to make sure that the systems that you're following or systems you're building adapt for those 2 minutes, because yes, it's only 2 minutes, but those things, 1,000 times over the course of a year, it's 2,000 minutes. That's a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I find with this one that that's where I get into I don't know what the word is, but like never getting anything done because there's too much to do.
Mm.
I started on one task and I go, oh yeah, there's this other little quick thing I need to do. Oh, that little phone call I need to make, or that little thing I need to do. And I get onto that thing. Oh, I should do this right away. Get it taken care of. And then I just chase those around in a circle for half my day and then realize I'm behind already.
Yeah, but it slowly devolves into like a Reddit discussion where it's like, how many 5-year-olds do you think you can take, right? And it's just like, well, yeah, the 5-year-old's really easy to take out, but if there's 3,000 of them, well, maybe not, right? So,
Yeah, I
and
think it's sort of
those,
overwhelming.
well, those 5-year-olds are the 2-minute tasks, right? How long does it take to dispatch a 5-year-old? Not that much, but if there's 3,000 of them times 2 minutes is a lot of 2 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those, I got an email, I got a text message, I got a voicemail, I got someone knocking on the door, I got this, I got that, and everything else, right? So those 2 minutes add up, and I know it only sounds like 2 minutes, but over the course of a couple of years, man, that cascading failure adds up to big numbers. So just make sure that you're using your 2 minutes wisely. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, pick your battles.
Fair enough. All
All
right,
right,
I guess it's that
that's that.
time now.
It's that time. Here we go with the extra sauce on
Extra
the
blood dripping on it now. Still cracks me up. Hack of the week.
end. I love how there's a giggle in between them now. So hack of the week. All right, hack of the
Hack
week.
of the week.
So
Got two
here's
of
a
them.
few rules that get your productivity really, really going. There's a really good book called The One Thing, and it asks this terrible question. And I hate this question because it really rips into my soul. And the question is, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing? Answer that one thing and get that one thing done every day, or chip away at that one thing every day. And if you keep
Hmm.
doing this thing, your life will get better, right? Then we talked about having this list of stuff to do. So here's my to-do list. Then you can focus on your list. Make a giant list of everything you intend to do ever, right? And this gets it off your mind, gets it off your chest, and onto something else, either paper or digital format, whatever yours is. I use digital because I'm a digital guy. Then pick three important things to get done. Three important things to get done, and you break them up into small enough pieces that you can actually get them in a day, like these three things, and get those three things done. And once you're done your one thing, and once you're done your top three, stop. And I pause for a reason. Stop and take the rest of the day off. You're like, wait, what? It's not it's not impressive to see how many things you can get done in a day anymore, right? Because people used to take pride in actually, working so hard that they burnt out. That's not healthy. It's not sustainable. It's not good for you mentally, physically. Like it breaks you over time. And this is how many business owners end up failing or falling over or just stopping, right? If you choose your fights wisely, okay. So I did this weird thing called the 75 hard. I'm sure you've heard of it before.
Yeah.
If you haven't, just Google it. It's all over the place. And I did the Live Hard program for like 2 years. And, one of the things is you work out twice a day for 45 minutes a day. And one of them has to be outside. And you think, okay, 45 minutes, that's not too bad. Times two, okay, I can live with that. But it's not 45 minutes times two. It's 45 minutes. You have to drive there or walk there. Then you have to do your exercise. And then you have to change and take a shower because you might get really hot and sweaty. Like I'm about to go
Hmm.
do a 45-minute. I'm not on 75 hard right now, but I'm about to go do a 45-minute just walk or skip or do something active, hence the tank top because I'm about to go outside. Um,
Hmm.
and then you come back. And so when you do this takes up like an hour and a half of your day, plus, plus, plus. And so if you're trying to keep your day within like 8 to 10 hours, that sucks up a lot of time. So you've only got so much time left. So learning this, I was forced to, and this is actually how I came up with this structure. If I got four things done a day, one super important thing, three, highly important things done, and I took the rest of the day off, I was fresh, clean, energized, and instead of being burnt out, I was able to accomplish more over time, and my average productivity was higher over time than me trying to do 100 things in a day, which I'm capable of doing. But then I'll get sick, I'll keel over, and I'm useless for 10 days in a row, right?
Hmm.
And so I found that, 10 days in a row, I got 40 things done. But if I do 10 days in a row of not getting sick and I get four things done, that it's the same 40 things and Earl's not dead, right? And so, you know what? It ends up being the same cadence, but I'm no longer offline and I'm no longer, again, lying on the couch in fetal position. So I do
Hmm.
that less now, right? So I still do it. I'll be honest, I'll still do that, but I do that much less than I used to do, right? And so,
we we don't
yeah,
want Earl to be alive. That's part of
well, if I if
that's
I'm
something we
sad
all
and
want of
in
him.
a fetal position, then I'm not getting a whole lot of stuff done, right? So,
True.
thinking earphones, swearing earphones or not.
Huh.
And then last but not least, depending on the task, and this one actually pisses me off, the fact that it
Huh.
works. Work in a pod of other people. Work in a pod of other people. You don't have to talk to them, you just have to be around other high performing people. And just being in their presence increases your output by 15%, which actually drives me bonkers. This one pisses me off to no end. The
Huh.
reason why I decided to become an entrepreneur and business owner and do my own thing was so I could, dance to the beat, march to the beat of my own drum, right? Like when I want, when I, but the crazy thing is I started doing this stupid extreme accountability thing. And every time I join one of these sessions, I get more done in an hour than I get done in a whole friggin' day. And I'm like, man, I hate that because now I have to schedule stuff. I'm like, ugh, right. So there you go. But it works, sadly. So we were talking about quantum mechanics and physics and stuff earlier on with the whole
Yeah.
observer thing. Yeah, man, that
Hmm.
stupid observer thing works, and it drives me batty the fact that I have to have someone watch me work to be more efficient. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah. One of those sad facts.
Yeah,
We'll
it
work
just
hard. Work
is.
harder when other people are involved.
Well, okay, I'll leave you with this one last little story bitty because we're almost at the end of the hour here.
Oh,
Um, there was this factory, and what they were trying to figure out what was the optimal level of lighting in which the employees were the most productive. And so they took let's say which was the base level, and they increased lighting by 10%. The workers worked harder, and they're like, oh wow, if it increased by 10% and the workers worked harder, I wonder what happens if we increase the lighting to 20% above norm. And so they
hmm,
increased it to 20% above norm. Oh yeah, apparently
hmm,
the Facebook or Apple gods liked that one and gave me a thumbs
hmm.
up. And so they worked harder. And then they're like, well, wait a minute, wait. What happens if we go the inverse? Let's go back to zero again, and let's go 5% less lighting. And the funny thing is, the employees worked even harder. And they're like, wait, what? It's darker and they're working hard. I thought lighter, more light equals good.
Hmm.
And the answer was neither. It was not neither light nor dark that made them work harder. It was the fact that they thought that because the lights are going up and down all the damn time, that they're being watched.
Oh,
And it was the simple fact that they were being watched or thought that they weren't actually being watched. They were just testing the light levels to see what worked better for them. And because they all thought they're being watched, they all worked harder. And that was it. That was the simple matter of fact at the factory. And again, this pisses me off because now I need to be watched to work. So I need a babysitter, which is weird. But such is
yeah, nobody
life.
wants to
Such
admit
is
that.
I did one of these extreme accountability sessions like a couple months ago during tax season, and I
Mhm.
got mine done, my brother, my sister, my wife, and like three other people's taxes all done in a 50-minute session. And this usually takes me a whole day because I'm dragging my heels because I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta call
Yeah.
CRA. I did all of it in 50 minutes. And then I had the whole rest of the day because this is all I booked for the day, thinking, okay, well, I'll get a portion of it done during the session, and then I'll go for a break and I'll take a walk and I'll get all the other stuff done. I got it all done in 50 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the whole rest of the day to myself because that's what I had planned. Usually it takes me a whole day, 50 minutes with people watching. Stupid observer principle.
Yeah, that'd be
This
good.
does not
I
please.
mhm.
This does not please me. It's just like it works. I hate this.
um I think it was in Freakonomics. I don't know if you ever read that one,
Oh, I love
but
that book.
I think that's where it was, where they said they did ran an experiment where they like put out donuts in a cash box and said put $1 in for every donut you take, and
Yes.
you know, and they tried different signs, and they found a sign. They have a sign that says "Be honest" or whatever. They found the sign that said "Be honest" and had a pair of eyes drawn on it. Produced
Yes.
the best honesty.
Absolutely. I've seen variations of that where they just take googly eyes to it, and that
Oh
also
yeah,
works. I prefer the googly eye version because it's also an earthquake detector. The googly eyes are going crazy than the earthquake, so you need that.
earthquake, and dishonesty detector.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, well, I guess that's it for today. That's our hack. Oh, I was going to ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
Um, is there a project/time management software you prefer or recommend, or are they all more or less the same?
The hilarious thing is it's whichever one your team and you agree to use.
Hmm.
Because I've used all of them, and all of them have worked and all of them have failed. And the
Yeah.
difference between success and failure was, did the team, and team underline underscore circle highlight
Hmm.
was the key piece. Because if you're the only idiot using the calendar and no one else agrees to it, it still fails.
Hmm.
So it's whatever your people agree to utilize. That's it. So I've seen people use a friggin' spreadsheet. Seen people just use Google Calendar, the free stuff, and it works like a hot damn because everyone agreed to it. So it's in getting everyone to agree that's the key piece. And if everyone agrees, you hold each other accountable. When somebody goes, well, where is everybody? And well, was the meeting scheduled? If it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. So, and I've said this a couple times, and it's pissed people off. My calendar is my religion. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. And they're like, yeah, but I'm like, no, man, if I want to visit my mother, it's on my calendar. If I have a date with my wife, it's on my calendar. If I have time, I literally have dinner scheduled in my calendar, spend time with family. If it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. When they say, I don't believe you, I flip my calendar open. I go, look, here's what I'm playing piano for my mother. Right? They're like, what? You scheduled that? I schedule everything. How do you think I'm so successful? I think I get so much stuff done. If I don't do this, my brain would snap in half just under the load of all the crap I got to go do. Right. So yeah, that's it.
We're,
Schedule everything. So
There we go.
yeah, and
Okay.
I just use good old Google Calendar. It's free, costs nothing. Just be brutally honest with yourself, right? Like I put everything in the calendar, right? So there you go.
Good enough. All right. I guess that's it. Well, you want to play us out?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan.
So
Thank you,
thank you,
audience.
Earl. Thank you, audience. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, 200-ish people apparently on LinkedIn. Hello
Yeah.
again. Comment in the chat so we know you're there.
It's
And
funny how many people just lurk and watch and never say a word. And then like, 3 months later, like, hey, remember that thing you said in that episode? Like, dude, I didn't even know you watched it. Right. So there you go. So if you put it out there, someone's going to randomly watch it. So there you go.
there you go.
Peace out.
All right. Thanks, AI. Thanks, Earl. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Dan. Here
See
we
you next
go.
week.
Playing us out.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Ciao.